email address too. Everybody's here.
All right, what's your email, Jim?
Okay, Sunez 97, SUNEZ 97 at gmail.com. And there we go. That's what it is.
Sunez 97 at gmail.com.
That's right. Right and exact. He's got it. All right. All right, everybody here. I'm here till at least 9 o'clock. Okay. I'll be here till 9 o'clock. All right, I got you. I'll lock you in. I know I forgot something. Damn. They got the nice toys here. Peace, Indigo. Oh, man. You know, there's a lesson I think about, right? There's a very important thing, right? When I learned to write an editorial, I realized that the most powerful editorial isn't just to let go of your thoughts and ideas about something. The most powerful one, especially back then in print, where you may not have the space to continue to retort. It's not a message board. It's not like comments on social media where you could just keep going back and forth, you know? So you write that editorial and you have to kind of not just say you're understanding, but you have to predict what they would counter with and then answer to it too. You know? This is the key to making a strong editorial. It also takes me to the point that when we go out there and we speak about what we know, this is why the classroom is the laboratory, right? Classroom is the laboratory. Right? This is where like you experiment with chemicals and blow up in your face. You know what I mean? You'll say your ideas, though. If you don't have that interaction with whoever it is that's teaching you, you're not getting it. You know, you'd be taught how to do certain things, right? But you're not getting it, right? Martial arts, right? We learn the martial arts, though. We do all the crazy shit, though. What if we jump off that cliff right there and do some crazy roll line and shit like that? Shit that we're not gonna do no damn fight, though. Beat ourselves up before we beat anybody up. You know what I'm saying? Definitely not protecting ourselves and bust our ass, so it's not a Jackie Chan movie, right? They're not gonna yell cut and deal with all the bruises we just got. So it's a thing that if you're gonna go out there in the world, right? You're gonna be thinking about this. We're gonna go out there in the world and criticize things, have an opinion about something, say no to something, say something is disagreeable to us. You gotta make sure that we're writing exactly. That means you gotta spend a lot of time in the laboratory. I always tell students, it doesn't matter how old you are, how long you have this knowledge, or how long you had any kind of expertise about anything. You gotta have some type of laboratory. You know, and that's why the laboratory has to have goals, so that way you have to go in the laboratory. I didn't just set up the laboratory. I got me a desk, good lighting. I'm sequestered here, nobody can bother me. Then you have no goals and everything. You know? So you have to have goals. What will be studied? What expects to come out? How sharp do you expect to be? How powerful you expect to be? These are all things in the laboratory. How we build a laboratory. You know? People wonder about the strength of whatever it is that people do. It's in the power of their laboratory. Where they can make their laboratory, how well they utilize their laboratory. We herald people that have works. We herald people that have works, though, and they haven't. We don't look at the laboratories that they built for themselves, where they study, where they train, right? We always talk about Wu-Tang. Read the Wu-Tang manual. Not just the Wu-Tang manual. RZA's Tao, the Tao of Wu. It's a good book. It's a good book, right? And RZA talks about when he was making those classic records. You know, the Wu-Tang has an incredible long career, but the prime of that run is 93 to 97, right? First album to the second album and everything in between, right? Cuban Links, Liquid Swords, everything in between, right? So even if they hit peaks that were just as high, like Supreme Clientele and whatnot, right? Some albums by GZA, right? Other works, right? Frayed Ghost. It's that 93 to 97. All of them were at a peak. But the main foundation of music is the music. And that was RZA in the laboratory. Sticking in the laboratory. Staying in the laboratory. Having a laboratory. Having a laboratory. This is the key. Everyone that I know that works well has their own laboratory. Everyone that works well in those who work best in the laboratory have specific goals in the laboratory that go beyond just the makings, the things that leave the laboratory. There's things that have to be made in there, right? Just talk to a great martial artist, right? All of the great things that they do is really inside the laboratory. The best parts of their life with martial arts is in the laboratory. It's not some, even the ones that are known, it's not in some movie or something like that. Those are the products of it. It's in the laboratory, the lifestyle that they developed. If we're the true and living gods and we have this knowledge, we're true and living earths, we have this knowledge, that means that we have to create this world anew. And where do we create it where it will be right and exact, it will be better for everybody, it will give people the opportunity? That has to be done with powerful laboratories. It's like Gandhi, his autobiography. You know, Gandhi, his autobiography he wrote. He called it Experiments with Truth. I always say this. I said this like a couple of weeks ago. It's like the dopest autobiography title ever. Experiments with Truth. So as he learned things, he experimented with. Some scholars, right? They'll say that, I always mention this though. They say Gandhi was racist though, because he's South Africa. He was more like, how dare you, right? He's a product of the British Crown. He was a dickhead, you know what I'm saying? He was being an activist because you're treating him like those people, not because we're all being oppressed here. It's wrong. How dare you treat him like them? I have the right. You see the guy. I don't know if you ever seen the movie Gandhi. It's a good movie, right? He gets kicked out. He's like, he had the ticket and shit. He didn't give a shit. But that's the whole thing, right? If we take people at a certain point in their life, we don't see the whole end. We don't see the life laboratory, the experiments with truth. If we took the father at 1960, 61, 62, he's a Muslim. Clarence 13 years. If we take him at his peak, 1969, he's Allah the Father who built up this nation. So at one point, just another religious man. Something totally different just a few years later. And his whole reality is known by those 5 years, those 63, 69, right? Those said years, 5+ years, right? So the same thing, by the way. Gandhi's enlightenment goes with the way his clothes went. He got rid of the European garments, started wearing Indian garments. Then he started to just make his own out of loincloth, which look horrible, but they showed us enlightenment. You know what I mean? The experiments with truth, right? It's a thing. Noam Chomsky writes a lot of not philosophical. He's a linguist, right? I don't know if you ever heard of Noam Chomsky. Noam Chomsky's a linguist, but he also wrote lots of great political works about, like his most famous one. Well, not I don't say his most famous, but the one that a lot of people know is this big chunky book called Manufacturing Consent. Kind of builds how the whole political system, all the bullshit, right? And I always like this answer to like, what kind of society you want? Should it be socialist? Because capitalism is pretty much exposed. This is all devilishment, right? What do we have though? Socialism, something else, right? He goes that he's a true anarchist. And he even went through the history of anarchy, that it wasn't just like, hey, destroy everything and shit like that. That wasn't the original meanings, and not the meaning that he's using. He's saying basically that if we could have a society where, I'm paraphrasing into my words, that could have the opportunities for righteousness, then it would be able to construct its own society, and it would be based on what they say it should be. In other words, as the people learn of themselves, they should decide how it should be, what would be best for them, and in a way where they could prove and test if it was proved for them. That's not much different than the hyperbole, right? We call it that now. The bullshit that's founded America. The whole point of America was that it wasn't supposed to be a system, a said system. It was supposed to be something that they would test. And if it didn't work out, they'd be like, listen, this is not the way it should go. Right? But we know the devil's weak and wicked. So regardless to whom or what, something could sound right, but they'd be too weak to do it. And they would be prone to wickedness, right? Because we say the devil's made. Saying the white man is the devil. So no man is born devil. Babies don't come out killing. You know what I'm saying? So when we say weak, though, we say something that is so weak that it is most likely. The probability is extremely high that it's prone to wickedness. Right? That's what the devil is. And then anyone that is in a society that is forced to have abject survival, like, if you don't get money at every turn, you just die. And they've been put into the worst kinds of survival, and they've been weakened. And so now when we look at who is the devil, there's a possibility that any man can be made into a devil. Because any man has been put into a position of weakness. Doesn't mean that the black man, doesn't mean that the original man is weak, but it means that in society we're put into positions of weakness.
Peace, God.
Peace, God.
I'm good.
Peace, God.
Good seeing y'all.
Likewise, God. By the way, as an add-on, remember I was telling you about the elders that learned in the beginning, that went to Harlem Prep and set this up so they can go to the colleges? That was one of them. Ali. But I'm thinking about that. I would be embarrassed though, and I'm alluding to those who know what I'm talking about, to make a diss track against anyone else, like to say something musically in an essay admonishing someone else, whether they deserved it or not, and it takes 2 minutes to find something atrocious that they had said. That's far worse than anything that was on the song. Confucius had this thing, right? Confucius, right? Right? Short work to read from him, The Great Learning. It's about really about 6 pages. It's real short ass book, but it's one of those where it'll take you longer than any 6 pages you've ever read. You know what I'm saying? Like it's one of those. You know, like there's a heavy ass 6 pages, and Confucius was with one of his disciples, and he saw this other teacher, and they both saw this other teacher with his disciple, and the other teacher was, really scolding the other one. He was really going in, and the disciple goes, "Wow, that is some type of teacher. Look at the way he's going on. It's like he's really hyped. Like this guy is really teaching." And Confucius says, "You know what? Maybe one day I could be like that. It's just that. I got so many things that I'm seeing in myself, though I don't know if I have time to tell other people what they're doing wrong like that. Because when I see things that are wrong in other people, I realize that I'm seeing them because part of that could be in myself." That's what he said. I don't know I don't remember, or I don't know if the disciple answered to that, but that was the jewel of that, Self-I build peace together. Why supreme? You were new here. I don't know you, but that's peace. Why supreme? Is it why supreme? Or you changed it? Okay. That's the guy it was. Self-I build peace to God. With increased self-awareness, my ability to discern wisdom, right? Individuals and situations has heightened. My ability to discern. So he said, my ability to discern, he said, was wisdom. And that allows him to discern individuals and situations has heightened. It's become easier to spot those that mask their riotous and destructive, right? That's 8. Nature behind garments of deception. Therefore, I strive to keep my mind, right? Wisdom build, born knowledge. Add on a cipher, keep my mind, one, focused, clear, and immersed in a constant cipher of positive and edifying. I like that word, edifying. Edifying means illuminating, right? Activities. It helps me to weed through the BS. Peace to true self. Why is so, I don't know, I guess so many gods do not deal or agree with all being born to. That's because they're being proselytized by false hadith. That's the answer. Okay. Some people say that the father wasn't born in the math. So if today's the 28th, he didn't say 2 plus 8 is 1, right? That he didn't do that calculation. That he didn't do that. I learned from the elders that learned with the father, and they all taught me to do that. So I learned with firstborns and first fruit. Those teachers, those students of the firstborn, they all taught me that. Whether they were from Medina, Brooklyn, or they're from here, whether they were from the Bronx, which is P.E.A.C.E, they all taught me that. So somebody's on some bullshit, right? Let's say the father didn't really do that. That means that the elders did it. The firstborns came up with this. Why would we throw away such an exceptional tool of building, of garnering insight? Why would we do that? The truth is that we wouldn't do that. Right? We would absolutely not do that. Right? So we would definitely continue to build. Right? Oh man. D. Anthony, peace. J, peace. All right. Like I said, I'm here until 9 o'clock. Okay. Anybody have any questions? Just ask me. Makes no sense. Okay. Okay, I don't need that anymore. All right, let me know your builds on today's mathematics. Yeah, you know what? Now that this game is here, oh man, I can't bring my daughter here now until this game I know how to work it. She's gonna want to play immediately. There's a saying that we have going in the knowledge. We say the babies are the greatest. Some gods. Okay, I still answered it. That answer's still the same. Those some gods are they're dealing with hadith. You know, some of those gods don't learn with the same elders that I learned with. Some of them did not. A lot of the some of them did not. A lot of the some of them are going with one or two people that are just saying that it's like that. And yet, then I hear them build without boring it though, and I hear the most boring, regurgitated. I don't even want to call it builds though. Statements that are basically useless. You know, you King, you wouldn't need me to tell you things that have been said here for over 50 years. That would be whack. You know, if you do what everybody else does, if you study this, if you build with the gods, you're gonna hear all of the said responses. You know, right? Wisdom is wise words spoken. Yeah. Right. But you define wisdom now with the word wise. Right. All right. Peace to God, King Kamal. All right. Oh man. Crazy week. Crazy week. You know? You gotta make your disses though. You gotta make sure you're not right. You're right and exact. You gotta make sure you're right and exact. You know? Again, everybody have any questions here? Let me know. You know, King, you should share those. God, you should share those bills that you had. They were strong today. The cipher here could use that. You know? Well, none of this stuff means anything though if you don't apply it to your life though. What the hell does wisdom have to do with your daily life? So in your daily life, like what you do daily though, what would be considered wisdom?
Your experience that you learned from that day.
No, let me go farther in that, right? That's not incorrect at all. What I mean, like you, out of the whole repertoire, the things that make you you, what are those things? And say, the way I have become, what are, let's say, 5 set ideas of wisdom. You can say, this is the wisdom that constructs the nature of me, that would define you. What would it be? Right? The wisdom build. Wisdom build. The way that you build. What are 5 ways that you, the individual, build that are unique to you, that is your go-to and how you do things? So we have to look at things that we do.
Your actions.
What would be those things? There's a way that you do things. There's a way that we do things. You know what I'm saying? What is your regimen? Why is the regimen like that? Right? How do we challenge the regimen? When we learn new things, how do we go about studying them and verifying them? How do we react to things? What is this? What is the way the decision-making process goes into hearing something and saying that is worth taking into consideration, or not taking into consideration? What are the nature, the styles by which we answer things, the way that we answer things, the way that we answer to people? See, that's not Jay. You said I like all being born because in school they teach 1 + 1 = 2. I see 1 + 1 = 1 + 1. It adds up to 2 or is born to 2. But that doesn't always go because all being born doesn't mean that. It's a fact system of notation. So that means that 2 + 8 = 10, 1 + 0 = 1, and 28 never equals 1. Right? So 28 doesn't equal 1. The whole point of borning the degree, the mathematics of the day is to be able to see that supreme mathematics is principles and couplets that merge together. That in any combination, they will merge together and be a statement about yourself that is usable, livable, and real. That's the whole point. You lose the point of it though if you see it any other way. You go, look, we're not mathematicians though. 2 + 8 is 10. It's not 228. 2 + 8 is 10. 28 does not equal 10. But it's reduction because 28 doesn't mean 28 when we go with it. 28 means these two principles, numbers, 2 and 8. Right? The wisdom of the bill. Right? King, you said wisdom is the physical manifestation of one's blueprint of who they truly are. I like that. Let me say that again. Wisdom is the physical manifestation of one's blueprint of who they are. The blueprint is the knowledge. The wisdom is the actual blueprint of the physical. How they manifest that, how they will use that. It's a powerful thought. Actions will always speak volumes and show if you are truly one of elevation and building others up, including yourself, or if you're part of the problem by doing unnecessary destroying of your people. Thank you, King. Thank you. Self I build, you said, yeah, wisdom accompanied with arrogance can deter people from listening. Expressing wisdom effectively takes proper practice, especially when dealing with people of other backgrounds. Right? We're supposed to be dealing with other people of other backgrounds. We would say God of the universe, though. We get mad, though. When somebody comes from another country with some dumb shit. We're supposed to deal with the 85, blind, deaf, and dumb. And we get mad, though, when they're blind, deaf, and dumb in a way that we're not used to. You know what I'm saying? That's not how it works. That's not how it works, you know? You know? That's a very westernized way of schooling, too, though. You know, where the way that the student is ignorant is so set and patterned that you teach it the same way every single time. You know? And if you can't, then that student suffers, not the teacher. Just continue to do it. You know what I mean? So teaching is a difficult thing when it comes to that respect. You know? Savior Knowledge is one of the elders that built with me. He's still alive. He lives in Seattle. And he taught me how to really teach. He's always saying in a cipher, you always build to the one that knows the least. That's where you start. And that goes in line with what we teach them. We always say the babies are the greatest. We always focus on the young. So we always focus on those that know the least. You know what I mean? Stephen Moore, peace. That's right. Okay. Okay. So remember, King, to email me, okay? There's a lot of stuff on it. There's also a lot of plus lessons, teachings that I've devised to help along the way, things like that. Supplement some of the things I said here to refresh and remind of what I said here. You know what I mean? Um, so that we have it. Okay, this is the end of my week, everybody. Teaching this class so long, this is the end of the week. After this class ends, this class session ends, I don't know anything again. And we'll start all over again. And hopefully next Thursday I know a little bit extra and I'm a little bit more useful. But so what do we have here? All right. Any questions, any builds? I like these builds though. King, come on. It's great. It's great. Today is not the God day. Everybody's wrong on the God day. I do it on purpose though. When it's the seventh day, everybody's wrong. When it's the first day, everybody's wrong. I don't care what they say. But when Knowledge Me taught me, I was corrected sometimes though, but he always had a follow-up question that always stumped the hell out of me. So even if I answer something right, though, you have a follow-up question that will make my correct answer. It would still be right, but it wouldn't be what we call right and exact. And I was never right and exact. There's always a process. You could always be more particular. You could always be more correct. More focused, right? That's what we have in the degree power. Not everybody has refinement in the mathematics. Depends how God will give it to you if you have it. And a lot of brothers from Medina, they don't use refinement and they hate it. They say it means culture, and culture's 4, and that's a feminine number because the even numbers are the more feminine numbers, right? However, refinement has many definitions. And refinement, though, in this case, means focus, right? The Father had the power to teach the truth, and he didn't get up on a soapbox and just yell it to everybody. The power was focus. He saw individuals from elders that knew him, like you hear the stories, Allah. These are all elders that passed away. Allah, Allah B. Wise Jamal. I mentioned Wise Jamal. Right? Who had the mathematical breakdown. That's how he used to be. He used to get so excited. He used to build like this. And he would be speaking faster than his hands. He'd be crazy. And but the focus. The Father noticed them, what they were particularly doing, and had specific things to share with each of them. It was very similar when I learned the martial arts. Remember I was telling you? We all got different body types. And we learned all different stuff. That we could spend whole days kind of showing each other what we learned. You know what I'm saying? But what we were taught to focus on was so distinct for us that it kind of like, he's our C-gun is not a 5%, but he's an honorary 5%. The Black Sea too. It's not 80, he wasn't Asian. Asians, Chinese are original people. Our C-gun, our master teacher, he's a Black Sea from Brooklyn. Go figure. And he just knew how we moved. Like he would watch us do something, have us do something weird, test us out. I don't know shit about Kung Fu. This shit looks stupid. I felt stupid. I felt like a duck walking. Like it just looked dumb. But by that judgment, he was able to judge the body type. Crazy. I don't know how he did it. If I train people, I still have to have them go through a lot of different things to see what their body type, what their moves are and everything. But not C-gun. You do something stupid. I still remember the thing he told me to do. It was mad dumb. It still was dumb now. Like it's still, after like 20 years, it still feels stupid doing it because I didn't understand it. You know. All right. Okay, we're all here. Any questions that anybody has though? Because it's 8:21. I'm going to leave here at 9. Any questions that I have though? You know, we're going into October, right? Here's the thing, right? October, right? October, November, December, the last 3 months though, right? So that means that all of the works that we have to produce for this year, we better get on them. That means that what I'm doing though, you're gonna get fast answers though, because I got a lot of stuff to complete. You know, I have a lot of stuff to complete. You know, so people see me less this time of year than that. You know, I gotta finish stuff. And that includes personal goals. You know, King knows he's executive producer. I'm doing an album and a book that goes with it. But the book is already, it's just an editing phase. But I gotta finish it though. I gotta finish it, you know. And I got another book that's supposed to come out in January, so I have to finish that. So are we wasting our time? Are we getting there? Do we have goals? And they have to be supplemented goals in your laboratory. What are the goals in your laboratory? What you do? Were you training? Were you working out? Did you figure out what you want to do with your body and how to make it greater and then work out for that goal? Right? You say, well, I don't do no kung fu, I don't do shit. I'm not, you know, but what are you using your body for? How strong do you expect it to be? You have children, King? You have children? You know? I have kids though, so you know. My oldest is 22. You know what I mean? And I gotta stay athletic, man. My youngest is gonna be 10 Monday. On Monday. I gotta be sharp. My young one is real athletic though. I ain't trying to have her run past me, you know, be all old and shit. Now we gotta keep sharp. We gotta keep sharp. You know what I mean? And I still gotta be a threat to all these gentlemen suitors, right? I gotta be a threat. But seriously though, right? We gotta be sharp. What are we finishing? You know what I mean? What's the work? What's the what are the 1,000 jump shots? What are the 1,000 jump shots? You know, are we reading? How much are we reading? How many books do we read a year? You know, yeah, I've been doing this for a while. It's not hard to do it at all. But I read 52 books a year, right? I've been doing that officially since 2004, right? At least 52. I had one job though where I worked it, and I didn't do anything at that job. That year I read 106 books, right? I just beasted, you know. What was it then? That was I think that was 2008. You know, that was when a lot of sites that had books on them, like Gutenberg. You can look up Gutenberg. They have free books on there. Sacredtext.org, I think it is. A lot of ancient Buddhist texts, spiritual texts. I was reading all that shit. Buddhist texts, Taoist texts, everything. Zen texts. I was reading everything. But that wasn't good enough. 52 books. Because what I would do is you could also pick out the books that are shorter, you know, or easier. Right? So I also added on the goal that I have to read at least 300 pages a week. I haven't failed in that goal. You know what I'm saying? These are the jump shots. You got to take your jump shots. Right? People go look, Steph Curry, right? And maybe, you know, have a great season, shoot 48, 49%. Right? 42, 40% for the three-pointer. How many times you got to shoot for it to be that good? You got to take your jump shots. Michael Jordan, though. All the players that played with him, they said that he was more vicious in practice than in the game. I can't even imagine that shit. What the hell would that mean? right? It's the GOAT. That means you know, preparation and performance though. You prepare for the performance though. But when the preparation becomes the nature of the performance, that means that the preparation is the performance. It's like martial arts. Again, we're training so we kick somebody's ass though. But the more we train, the more peaceful we get. So the more we get out of shit though without doing anything, the more we don't want to fight. The more we see the potentials of violence, the more that we hate violence. So now the preparation, that training, the body, getting the body up, getting sharp. That's the goal. You know what I'm saying? What are you eating? How much do you eat? What are the ingredients of what you ate? How much of what did you eat? Have a good diet though, right? But you eating the wrong balances, you eat it all stressed, doesn't have any effect like it should. You know? I'm teaching here, and I'm teaching everything like this is all warrior training. You're not gonna find weekly potato chips in my diet. You're not gonna find sugar in it. But if I ate everything stressed out, all that shit that I eat that's good wouldn't do anything. Doesn't matter how many, if I had 50 bowls of quinoa, right? Doesn't matter. So what you feed your brain, right? What you feed the mind, that's a core theme of a set 1 to 36. They put fear in them. Why the devil put fear in them? The wrong foods, you know. Peace, God. The wrong foods. Wrong foods is mental and physical. So we gotta look at the things. What's the wrong foods? And when we get sharp, we got the right foods. But what's better foods? How do we make the right foods more better? You know what I mean? How do we judge what we watch though? You know? What are we watching? Last 3 months though. We either failed the year and didn't really do much this year that we could say, what did we do? First, show and prove. Show and prove is an annual event that the gods and earth have. To show and prove that Allah never died. And of course they, right? Because Allah never died, because Allah is what? The original man. The original man can't die. And it's on the weekend of June 13th, or around that weekend, right? The second, usually it's almost always the second weekend of July. That show and prove gods and earth come from all over the world. And anybody that's interested in what we do. And they come here. Usually these show and prove events are at the Harriet Tubman School around the corner because it's bigger, right? And I remember I was building, first went to one of my first ones, and I saw the God that I had just interviewed, his MCJ Live, like 1999. I said, peace, God. I said, God, we're at the show and prove. I said, word. You know? What did you do all year? I said, man, you know me. You know me? I did some shit, you know? No. What did you do? Show and prove, what did you do all year? Like this whole year. What did you show and prove for the whole year? And I gave a whole thing. Because I know I did nice shit. So I gave my whole thing. But that's the whole thing. Like what did you do? What have you been building? What did you make? What did you create? What were you working on? What was completed? What was fulfilled? What was born? So we look at this though. We're dealing with this calendar as we do it now. So, you know, God, it's not right exact, so it don't matter if I have anything done at the end of the year. Man, whatever, man. That's an excuse. I don't want to hear that excuse. I want to hear what you did. You know what I mean? Peace, Malik. Yeah, that's my baby. My Alma. My youngest daughter's name is Alma. Alma Spanish for soul. I love soul music, obviously, but she's soulful, you know? As a writer of music, though, the one thing that you try to write about, though, and actually put it into words, though, is what soul is. So people say, "Oh, look, like Tupac, he's not that deep. He's not lyrical. He's not as lyrical as layered. He's not this. He's not that." So the answer ends up being what? He's got a lot of soul, right? The other guys don't have the soul like that, and that seems to be a major damn difference, right? So, how do we articulate that? What is the soul? What is soul? What is expressed soul? These are things, you know what I mean? These things we work on in the laboratory to define, to understand. I had Stephen Moore. You said, "How do you see Muslims professing to be God?" It's a funny. Professing means that they will come with some kind of articulated justification that they're the true and living God. I've never met that. I don't think anybody would have the goal to do that. But if you're dealing with a mystery God, then you're not. The black man is God. So theoretically, every black man could tell me that he's the true and living God. It's fine, but it don't mean nothing to me. He's got to show and prove that he's a true and living God. You know, if he calls himself something, if he gives himself a title, saying that he submits to the will of Allah, who came in the person of Master Father Muhammad, I can't. Wow, I can't take it serious. That's right, District. Yeah, Sacred Text. Yeah, they got a lot. Yeah. Before I started to collect these books on my own stuff and have a big digital library, that's where I was going. You know what I mean? That's where I was going. Yeah. You know what, Malik? I was thinking about today's degree, and I said, I'll be damned though if I bet a lot of money that Malik asks me what are the rules, what are the other rules and regulations not mentioned in this lesson. I knew it. I knew it. Word is bond. I knew it though. And I was on the train coming here, and I was thinking, what are the other rules and regulations not mentioned in this lesson? And I was like, damn, God is gonna stump me like that. Today's degree, when somebody says, what's today's degree? They talk about the 1 to 40 set. Those 40 questions and answers in the whole 120 lessons are the longest set. And the wisdom build degree, that question and answer is the longest one in the whole 120, right? It's so long at the end, the last sentence is, there are other rules and regulations which are not mentioned in this lesson because the degree is about Yaqub making the devil, right? The first thing, the other rules and regulations, though, is really what? The other institutions. So you have doctors, ministers, nurses, and cremators, right? You have those that qualify, those that certify, right? Minister certifies, right? Certify the qualification, make it official, right? You have the doctors, ministers, nurses. The nurses perform the devilishment. They perform the destruction of the black baby, right? To graft them. The cremator destroys the evidence, though, right? But then, what are the other parts that's missing, right? I've been thinking about this. I've been stumped. I was looking around. I was like, wait a minute. We're looking just at other parts of the institution, right? So we have outlets of those. Like we have more outlets, right? The nurse, though, is not just the one that performs, though. She also performs a mental aspect, right? She performs a mental aspect, that nurse, right? So then now we have education. What are the rules and regulations in the education? What are the societal rules, right? Some of them are mentioned in the other lesson, the prison houses, things like that. What's the educational process? What are the foods? The society, how it runs, all of these things, right? everything else that you see in the society, whether it's righteous or not, has to be used, manipulated, and become something. You see? How? How? So upset I ruined my hat. It's got a little stain there. Let's go back up, self-I build. Obviously, I missed it. Okay, I saw your statement. Wisdom accompanied with arrogance. That's not a question. Is it a question? I don't know what your question is. Because I saw. Okay. I don't see the question, self-I build, that you added on. So I just see your statements. I don't see a question. So throw it in there again. Malik, you said, would we call Yaqub determined idea a system of enforcement to create a nation? I think everything, I wouldn't say that, because that's kind of universal. Everything that is, every nation that's made has to be enforced in some manner, right? Because a nation is a group, is a society of men, women, and children for one common cause. And so they have to enforce that is protected, that is furthered, right? So everything that's made is enforced. So it doesn't necessarily mean anything, you know? So I would say yes, but it's not different like anything else, you know? King, you said many are so lyrical, miracle that they come off as mechanical and don't connect with the people on a deeper level like they could or should. Absolutely, you know? Maybe they can't. Maybe that's the only way they could, you know? I'll be here till the born hour, 20 minutes more. All right. Let me know if anybody has any questions, okay? By the way, I haven't mentioned this and stuff, but if people really want to get a crash course in my introductory course in martial arts and kung fu, I'm still teaching it. It has been raining ridiculously every single weekend, it seems, and the weather hasn't been right. But if you're willing to brave that weather and the weather's good, let me know, and we'll do it in the weekend. Definitely can teach you things to do throughout the winter with just a few sessions. But I just want to put that out there because I haven't put that out there in a while. All right. So if you're interested, though, you email me. I'll give you the rates and everything. The rates are what make it great. Yeah, self. I see. Do you see anything I'm posting? Not certain why that happens, but yeah, I didn't see the question. Peace, LT. You said today's math is wisdom build to destroy all being born of knowledge. I would like all of the 5% to be aware and be able to listen to my album. Do you mind if I leave a link here? No, I do not mind. I do not mind. No, please. I have no problem with people sharing their creations, what they're creating, what they're making. Absolutely. Absolutely. If this is not a place of networking, what we created and what we're doing, I don't know where would we be able to have that. Where would it be okay? Right? That's fine. I'll be out of here in 15 minutes, so get that on there as soon as you can. And I'll let everybody know. Listen, since we're talking about things, if anybody's interested in any of my books that I have, I have 6 of them. Which ones they are, what they are. This is going to be the last weekend of the year that I'll even have them on sale. So, I'm not having them on sale after, you know, the rest of the year. All right. Well, I train up in Staten Island though. So if you know called there's a place called Fort Wadsworth. That's where I train students on the weekend. If you set up a date with me, I train in the morning. Okay. If the weather permits, we'll be up there. Okay. It's good. The weather is getting colder, but it's not that cold where we couldn't train and I could show them stuff to really start with and get them prepared, All right, so email me any child that I train for free, all right? Anything that you give me would be a donation. Any of you adults though I train, you'll get my rate though, which is very good, you know what I mean? But the youth are for free. Finish that. Back to this. Okay. Yeah, I say this. We have 3 months left. We can start a project in 3 months. Have a plan. What can we do? How can we start? This is all important. If we don't learn how to use mathematics to do actual concrete things, then what are we doing? You know, I think one of the things that the demise of anyone learning on their own, on their own, not something they paid for, some class that they paid for that they got to do certain things, is that they don't know how to make their own timetable and stick to it. Word is bond and bond is life, and I should give my life before my word shall fail. How many people give their life, their word to themselves so strictly, so intently that, oh shit, they fail? That's their own life. Self, yeah. You know what? I'm gonna. Oh man, I definitely will tackle these questions. You know what I'm saying? Peace 704 Joe. Peace. Where's the link though? LT, I don't see the link here. Malik, I don't understand that question. How did the written language agree with the 26 letters? Agree with it? Because you know, English is a very hybrid language. You know what I mean? It's probably why it's so adaptable. Yeah, I don't see the link, LT, in here. But you know what? LT, email me that link though. Email, because I think you gave it to me, and I don't know if I saved it where it should be. So email me that. Sunez97 at Gmail. Email me that link of your work, okay? That way I have it. If you emailed me already, just forward it to the top. Nothing wrong with promoting your stuff and letting people know again and again. Okay. That's right. I said promote. King gotta start talking about what we doing. Oh man. I think yeah, when I get closer to finishing the album, then I'll start talking about it more. But I can't even give the name of it though because the name is crazy and it goes with the book. You know, like Mandarin or the 26 letters, they don't conform to such or so Espanol. You know what? I still don't get what the question is, though. You know, the development of these languages based on, you know, where it's from and the roots of it. You know, mostly Latin and Greek are really where English is coming from, right? So, yeah. Yeah, I guess I better hurry up with this album. Damn. Yeah. King Kamal be getting a brother to be prolific, man. I was just like, let's do a couple of songs. He got me doing album after album. Okay. All right, Takim, I got the link. I got the link, so I'm gonna save that. You know, is it on the DSPs or you just have it on Bandcamp? So you have it on the DSPs here and stuff too. Yeah, okay. Makes it easier for me to access it. All right. All right. With that said, unless anybody has anything, I'm gonna Smitty Black. Everything is as positive as I could build. Everything doesn't really go the way I'd like it to, but everything works out the way it should, the way it gets worked. Everything is being worked, though. So let me know, everyone, what these last questions are. Right. That's true. It is on all platforms. I just saved it on my YouTube Music as well. So we're good. That's going to be great. Of course, Bandcamp is where, yeah, definitely. You know? Of course, Bandcamp is the best way to support. Definitely know that firsthand now. All right, so unless anybody has any questions, I'm gonna let everybody go. You have my email if you missed something you wanted to ask. All right, so until next Thursday, peace.